Good evening, everybody. This is Kelly Schnorrenberg in Denver, Colorado, and I'd like to welcome you to this evening's Quantum Success Strategies Leadership Training this evening. We're going to start the call off with Dan Ahmed, our CEO and co-founder of the company. Dan is going to give us the state of affairs of the company through the end of the year, what we have to look forward coming the first of the year. Then he's going to introduce a very special guest we have on this call this evening. So with that said, Dan, take it away.
Thank you, Kelly, and welcome everyone for joining us on this last leadership webinar for 2013. We want to thank everyone for joining us, and especially those of you that have joined us on so many of these calls that we had this entire year. We hope you've learned a lot. We know you'll learn a lot today when you hear what our guest has to teach you about jumpstarting your QS2 2014 business. And as Kelly talks about, what I'll do a quick summary on where we're at and what we're shooting for, just so you know 2013 was an extremely positive year for QS2 and for what you're going to be building in 2014. This is our first full year in business. We launched our company in July 24th, 25th, 26th in Las Vegas, and we had about 1,500 people come to that meeting. We have about 8,000 people signed up with the company now, but the most important part is the people that are running their base shops and writing business. And that's really what we're focusing on. When you look at 2014, it's going to be the year of people focusing on their base shops, people focusing on production, their individual appointments, their field training, and making sure the people that they recruit are doing the same thing. And I think you'll get more and more of that. The last 3 months, that's really what we've turned to. When you look at the RPM program, Rapid Promotion Model, that's what we're about now. Rapid Promotion Model is the simplest way to teach someone a system. And the system is we recruit someone, we help them protect their families, we help that person build a business by recruiting 5 more people, we help those 5 people with field training, sales, and we do it over and over and over again, and we create as many NMDs as we possibly can. So it's a great system. It's the simplest system. It's systems that have been in play for 40 years. We've just modernized them a little bit, I guess you could say. When you look at what's been created as far as the back office in QS2, we have a ton of information, and I would probably say 99% of us haven't had the chance to look at every single thing we have in our back office. But if you spend the time between now and July 2nd, when you might get really back to work, I think you'll find it very valuable when you see all the training, all the products, all the access to data that you have in the QS2 back office. You combine that with the information that now is in our insurance back office, which is the branded site from ORG that we use now as QS2. You have a tremendous amount of information. When you look at the Quantum Wealth Builder, I don't think there's a more powerful software package out there that will allow you, whether you're extremely experienced in financial services or have no experience at all, I don't think there's a more powerful package out there that will allow you to succeed, because I know for a fact people for this type of plan are charging anywhere from $1,500 up to $10,000 for a plan that we provide to our clients at no cost. And it's just so powerful to provide people information that will allow them to make the right financial decisions. Look at financial literacy with our financial concepts. We'll be busting that out in a major way in 2014, where the leaders will be trained on what they need to do to teach people about financial literacy. So I think that's going to be another key, huge component of what we're working towards. Our RPM program has been unbelievably successful. We've had so many NMDs created because they follow the system. And the fun thing is when you see an NMD that's created and then that NMD creates multiple NMDs following the system, it's even better. So it's just a joyous time to see people following the system, doing what they need to do. And when I heard Rob Hodges on the radio today, I was so proud that he is just so committed and dedicated to following the system, doing what he needs to do to be successful for himself and his family. Is awesome. One thing that I think we're all going to be extremely proud about, and that's going to be in 2014 in January, we're hoping to launch and have available the Superstart Manual. And the Superstart Manual is incredible. We made some additions to it just even in this last week, made some modifications based on what some of the leaders have recommended and additional information they provided us. You're going to have the tool of the industry, and I think it's the tool of the century when it comes to allowing a leader to have the specific data, the specific training manual, the tools to help every single new person coming in to QS2. You're going to have a huge opportunity to help those people succeed. And when you look at what we do, that's what we do. We help people become successful. And if you focus on that, if you truly focus on helping other people become successful, you're going to be unbelievably successful. And that really comes down to the key of what we want to focus on. That is making sure we recruit one person at a time, one associate at a time. We focus on that associate's success, making sure we help one family at a time make the right financial decisions. And I think that all gears towards what we're going to talk about tonight, and that is jumpstarting your 2014 QS2 business. What can you do right now? What are specific tasks? What are specific things you can do right now that will give you the best chance for success? And one of the goals we have here at QS2 is to make sure we bring on the leaders that are going to be able to teach you how to do these things, because really in reality it shouldn't come from corporate, because it needs to come from the people who are doing it in the field, who have done it in the field, who have that moral authority to say this is how we do business. This is how you run the base shop. This is how you recruit someone. This is how you train someone. This is how you write an application. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for those people that can help. So backed by popular demand, we have one of our newest leaders in the company, but one of our most powerful leaders in the company. And I've received so many texts, so many emails, so many phone calls, just so proud that we have an individual like the next presenter as part of our company. And she has a tremendous amount of respect from all you in the field. So it's with my great pleasure we bring on a key player in the financial services industry and one of, I think, the future great leaders of QS2, Lily Tran. Lily, are you available?
Hi, Dan. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much.
How you doing?
Great. Thank you. I'm super excited because I'm wrapping up my end of 2013, reviewing everything that I've gone through, and I'm planning for my 2014. I believe that success leaves clues, and if you want to be successful in business, at QS2, in life in general, it starts with a plan. And I was looking at my numbers. I got an email asking me for my numbers and production and recruiting, and I loved it because I'm a business person. And one of the things that I looked at was, where is my business, going? Where is it right now? Where is it going? I think the ability to really be honest with yourself and your skill set and your talents and your commitment to building a business, everything starts with you. So I always look at myself as a leader. If it's going to be, it's up to me. And we talked about before, the only thing you can control is your attitude and your actions. Well, for me, I looked at the couple weeks that I've been in officially in QS2, and I looked at my numbers, and I'm ending the 2013. In the 2 weeks I've been in QS2, I have 4 directs and 3 people for my direct. So I have 7 in my base shop. And I have closed business for my team in field training of $60,000 premium. So what that translates to is about, $8,000 to $9,000 per recruit is how I average it out. And I'm telling you this because you've got to look at the state of your business and where you're at. If you're at 0 recruits and 0 sales, that's okay, because this is the end of the year, and now you have the opportunity to really reflect and think about yourself. What am I doing to move my business forward, and learn from the lessons. They say if you lose, don't lose a lesson. Maybe you've lost out on this year, you're brand new, you had to work on some things to get yourself ready to be fully prepared to immerse yourself into QS2. Well, I am in the same position, and I just want to encourage you to start your 2014 and really plan. Henry David Thoreau says, what you get by achieving your goal is not nearly as important as who you become by achieving your goals. So for me, I'm telling you things that I'm working on myself. I like to really read a lot. I do a lot of research. I believe every day in educating myself. And there was a Harvard Business Review. I read the Harvard Business Review. I know I'm a nerd. And I always like to study people. I always want to know what makes people successful. And I like to study them. And I like to read autobiographies of people in history, because I want to know what traits, what skill set, what mindset, what did they do to get to where they're at. And I'm a student of the business. Anybody that's successful, I want to know what did they do. And I hope you're like that too. If you're new in QS2, I would study the Leaders Bulletin. I would get to know other people who you admire and you want to become like them in terms of building a good business. I would do those things. Well, here's 9 things that I wanted to go over about setting goals and being specific, and more importantly, 9 things that successful people do differently. And number 1, I would say is get specific. When you set a goal, you have to be as specific as possible, right? We all say that January comes along, we're going to eat right, we're going to exercise, we're going to lose X amount of weight. Well, it's like when you say, oh, I'm going to lose weight next year, you're really not going to hit it because you're not specific about it. If you know that you're 60 pounds overweight or you're 10 pounds overweight, you need to be specific on how much weight you want to lose. Well, it's the same thing when it comes to QS2. My belief is a recruit a day or an app a day keeps poverty away. But the reality is that most of us are busy. We're doing this business part-time. We have other things. You have families. So I was thinking, what can we do to really get specific and goals that are very achievable for most people? So I believe that if you just get 1 direct a week, there's 7 days, and if you just get 1 direct a week, that's very specific and very doable. My goal was I got 4 directs in the month of December, so my goal, to be very specific, is that I'll be traveling a lot, so I plan on getting 6 directs. It's more than I did in December, but it stretches me beyond where I'm at right now. And then I want to have 10 in my base shop, which is 3 more. Now, I could give a pie-in-the-sky number of I'm going to recruit 20 directs and do 100 in my base, but how realistic is that? I think a lot of times people fail because they're not honest with who they are and where they're at, and they don't, first of all, they don't even set goals. The first step in being successful at QS2 is you have to actually begin your journey. And so I think that when you give, yourself a clear goal, I just need to get 1 direct a week. That is something that's doable, and you gotta really do whatever it takes to get there. For me, you have to be specific. Like, for example, how many phone calls do you need to make to get a new recruit on your team? In my opinion, if you're part-time, not just recruiting calls, but you should be making field training calls. You can do 10 recruiting calls a day. And if you're full-time, you should do 20 per day. And how many phone calls do you need to set up field training appointments? Once again, I think if you're part-time, you should be making 10 phone calls a day. Even if you're busy at work and you have a job, you have an hour lunch. You can bang out 10 calls in half an hour. If you follow the system and you have a script and you know what to say, you can find time. I think a lot of people come in this business and they say that they don't have time, or they don't get started because they're so overwhelmed by their life that they don't know what to do. So for people who are, I'll talk to people who are part-time trying to get this going. I think that you need to make at least 10 calls a day and 20 if you're full-time. And my thing for you is that if you are so busy, I would schedule Sunday. When I was doing many different things and I had other businesses going, I would always use Sunday evening as a time when I would set up all my appointments. I would call and I would set up all my appointments for the week so that I knew what my week looks like. You have to learn how to track your business. If you don't track your business and you don't have a clear schedule and you don't have a specific goal, then you're really not going to go anywhere and you're just going to be frustrated off the business. So I believe the fortune is in the field. I'm not happy to just get recruits. I need to get my recruits into the field. So that's why I think that if you're part-time, you need to do 1 to 2 field training appointments a day, which is at 6 and 8 o'clock. You should have 2 appointments booked. And if you're full-time, you should do 3 to 4 field training appointments a day. If you don't go out in the field, how can you make some money? You don't make money by recruiting. So this is the stuff that I'm going over with you that I went over with my new recruits. Really clear plans on what to do. Here's something I want to say to you. Maybe I would say to you, one of the first things you need to do before you decide how many phone calls you need to make and all that, how much money do you need to make in QS2 to take care of your family and your lifestyle? Let's say, for example, you need $10,000 a month to pay your bills, to pay your mortgage, whatever the case may be. Knowing that you're at a 50% contract, you need to figure out how many sales do you need to close to make that money. Let's say an average sale is $250. The average sale in California is actually $350 for an IUL. So let's just say $250. That means that you need to close 7 sales a month. That's less than 2 sales a week to make $10,000. See, here's the thing that I want you to do is figure out what are all your bills. Maybe you haven't done the Quantum Wealth Builder yet. One of my goals for you that I would suggest is that do the Quantum Wealth Builder on yourself before the end of the year and get your family together and have an emergency family meeting and get on track so that your family knows what's going on financially and the commitment that's going to take for you to turn things around for your family. So you say, you know what, we're not making enough money. We need everybody to pull their weight. You know, I'm going to be out trying QS2. It's my part-time business. I need you guys to be more self-sufficient, cook dinner, whatever it takes, and have a family meeting. I think that's so powerful that when you're starting your QS2 business, and maybe you haven't started yet, but as you're about to embark on it in 2014, have a family meeting so everybody knows what it's going to take to help. You know, there's some sacrifices that are going to be needed to be made so that your family moves forward financially. And then, you know, when you know that you got to do 7 sales a month, then how many appointments do you need to close? That's about 2 sales a week to round it up. Now, if you have a 50% closing ratio, right, then that means that you need to do 4 appointments, right, which is 1 every day. Do you see how specific that is? You need to say, okay, I need to close 2 sales a week. That means if I have a 50% closing ratio, right, I need to go on 4 appointments. Well, 4 appointments is like 1 every other day. And I think whether you're part-time or you're full-time, it's totally achievable. I'm not going to give you pie-in-the-sky numbers like, okay, let's make $100,000 in January. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely for you? If you've done nothing, probably not. So I wanted to have a goal that just started your business. The first step is to begin, right? So I wanted to say that, and I want to make sure that I want you to understand that I think in 2014, the very first thing you need to do is be a personal recruiter and a personal producer. I went out and got directs, and then I recruited for my directs, and now I'm field training. I am so packed in my schedule of field training, right? Recruiting solves all problems, in case you don't know that. Well, now that I have recruits, I have to field train them. I have to get them in the field. And so that's when I say, well, I need to seize the moment, number 2, to act on my goals. You got to decide when and where you will take action. So for your business, you have to decide how many days can you commit to making your phone calls and doing your appointments no matter what. I think the problem most people have is they're dedicated and they're disciplined for 1 or 2 days, but they get in the habit of their life, right? It takes 21 days to establish a habit, just so you know. So if you want to lose weight, you've got to exercise 21 days in a row so that exercise is part of your daily habit. It's like brushing your teeth. You feel weird and uncomfortable if you don't do it. Well, you have to get in the habit, right? Everything in this to make it work, right? Everything is called work. And you need to make it work. Well, what do you need to do? You need to make your phone calls. How many hours can you commit to give to this business? You have limited time. Can you commit 1 or 2 hours? Can you commit to field training 2 nights a week? You guys seize a moment to act on your goals. What are you willing to do? Think about these things. I'm asking you to write it down and to start thinking about these things. And you got to be specific as possible. Studies show that you're 300% more successful when you can commit to a schedule. So I think the problem that a lot of people have in QS2 is that they don't really have a specific schedule. They don't have commitment. They don't have goals. They're good for 1 or 2 days. They're not self-motivated. And one of the things I can suggest to you to get really motivated is, first of all, you got to have a game plan. You got to write everything down. First, you got to think about what you want. Then you got to write it down. Then you got to put deadlines on your goals, and you got to get out and actually go do it. And you have to have an accountability partner, someone that's going to hold you accountable to your goals. I mean, that's whether you want to lose weight or make $1 million, whatever it is. That applies to everything. Number 3, you need to know exactly how far you have left to go. to achieving your goal. Achieving any goal requires honest and regular monitoring. I really believe in accountability. My entire life, I've been accountable to somebody on all my goals. Whether in this business, I think you should be accountable to your upline. They have a vested interest in your success. So every day, whether you talk to them or not, I would send them a text, an email, and report. You don't have to talk about the weather. You could just say 1 recruit, 2 sales. I think it could be super basic like that, because that's the only thing that really matters in our business is how many recruits did you get and how many sales, how many families did you help. Nothing else matters. And so if you get in that mindset and you every day you're reporting 0 recruits and 0 sales, it's going to make you feel uncomfortable. And pretty soon you're going to want to do something about it because, you know, you're probably the kind of person that gets embarrassed because you've told everybody you're going to be the best recruit ever, but you have done nothing. So I think day in and day out of reporting 0 is going to get to you. So I suggest that effective January 1st, every single day, even Saturday and Sunday, you should be reporting how many recruits and how many sales you did. Now, if that's too much for you, maybe you could say how many phone calls you made and how many appointments you set up, but you must be tracking your business. As we talked about it, you got to run it like a real business, right? So my minimum standard that I think if you're a do-it-first leader, you should personally be recruiting 4 directs a month and 30,000 points. That's if you run a base shop. I think that's minimum standard. 4 directs and 30,000 points. I mean, that's just so that you could pay your bills and get everything going for your family. And so I believe you got to check your progress daily, weekly, and monthly. Number 4, you have to be a realistic optimist. You got to believe in yourself and your ability to achieve your goal. First, I believe you should go to NMD, and then after you get there, get to VC, and after that, produce out VCs. I like the fact that Dan and I were talking about the restart, how you could get your business going, and how you could restart your goals, and within, I believe he said 25 days, you can restart. This is a chance for you. If you've done nothing and you're not happy with your results, even if you had, I mean, I'm not happy with my results. I should have had 8 recruits, and I should have had 100,000 points. You should never be satisfied, because once you are satisfied with where you're at, that's when you're going to stop working. So, if I were you, I would know the promotion guidelines, and I would take advantage of the special time that they're giving you to restart your business and get it to the next level. You have to set goals. They need to be realistic, but you have to stretch yourself. You know, I always laugh at the people that never do anything, and then when you ask them their goals, they tell you, I'm going to have 50 recruits and 500,000 points. And you ask them, well, what did you do last month? Nothing. So those people, I feel sorry for them because they obviously don't ever get anywhere in life because they believe their own lies. And so I always tell people, just tell me what you're really going to do. What is your drop-dead promise? Like if I had to cut your arm off to make sure you did it, what is your drop-dead bottom line? Because I'm the kind of person, if I tell you I'm going to do something, even if I have to go out and do every sale myself and I committed to a number, I have such integrity in what I say, I own what I say, that even if my base shop and my team did nothing, whatever I reported to my upline that I'm going to do for my team, I'm going to make sure that's a personal goal. So I think if you have that same mentality and you promise to do 20 recruits and 50,000 points, then you need to go out and get 20 directs and 50,000 personal points just to keep your word. Because in our word, in this world, our word is everything. So number 5, I think you need to focus on getting better rather than being good. A lot of us believe that our intelligence and our personality is fixed and that no matter what we do, we can't improve. So as a result, we focus on goals that are all about proving ourselves rather than developing new skills. Embrace the fact that you can change will allow you to make better choices and reach your full potential. For me, I think that people need to master their craft. And what do I mean by that? I think they need to drill for skill daily. The problem I have that I see a lot of people having is that they don't practice. They don't drill for skill. They don't do all the boring things. They want the money, and they want the recognition, and they want the power, right, that comes with being admired and by a bunch of people, but they don't do the work that is necessary to get them to where they're at. So for me, every single day, I would tell you, focus on getting better. Spend half an hour, 40 minutes, learning about the business, learning about the IUL products, learning whatever you can about whatever you have questions about. One of the things I spent doing with my direct was I was on the back office going through all the products, every product, every service. I went through the Quantum Wealth Builder. I went through everything because I knew that if I taught my directs properly, they would be so well educated. They wouldn't sit around saying, well, what do I do? How do I run an illustration? How do I fill out an app? What products do you guys have? They would understand that this is their business, and they need to take responsibility for the fact that it's their business. They cannot sit around and wait for me to spoon feed them because they are not my employee and they are not my child. They're in business for themselves, but they're not by themselves. And I think that's the problem a lot of people have when they come into business. They expect you to do everything for them, and they have that mindset of being an employee. The sooner you can fix someone's mindset and make them understand this is your business, you need to take responsibility and get on there. I told you guys before, when I got in the business, nobody wanted to train me. I had to go learn everything myself. I had to call every product provider and ask them, what are the best products you have and why? Why should I give you business? Can you send me some apps? I would go on every company's website so I could learn the presentations and all the things that they had, because I am a student of the business, and I believe that until you master your craft, you can't be great in this business. You're just going to be a person trying to scratch out a living. But if you really want to be somebody who makes an unlimited amount of income, did you know that Fortune magazine, they defined financial freedom, financial independence, as having a 7-figure passive income. That means that if you don't make over $1 million a year passively without you doing anything, you are not financially free. You're not basically what they would consider wealthy. So I thought about that, and I thought about what will it take at QS2 to have financial freedom, to have that 7-figure income passively, and to be financially free. Guess what? It takes starting from the bottom. It takes earning your promotions the right way. It takes drilling for skill. It takes getting it across the kitchen table, kneecap to kneecap, eyeball to eyeball. It takes role-playing with your people on scripts so that they can make phone calls. It's all the things that are not glamorous or sexy, but they're necessary building blocks for the foundation of your future. And I really want you to think about that. Number 6, you need to have grit. Grit is the willingness to commit to long-term goals and to persist in face of difficulty. I am people who know me know that I'm the most focused and the most disciplined person. I told you guys before, I work on Christmas. I do whatever it takes. I don't sustain my discipline long enough to just get to the next promotion, to make the next million. I persist until I have achieved what goals I've set out. I'm very goal-oriented. I showed you my goals is broken down into 4 F's: faith, family, fitness, and finances. That's how I break down my goals and my life for 2014, things that I need to work on. Everybody needs to be more fit. Everybody needs to save more money, et cetera, et cetera. So I tell you this because I want you to understand my mindset, right? Success leaves clues. And one of the things that I did and I learned early on was that it's really about grit and having that. The willingness, effort, planning, persistence, and good strategy is really what it takes to succeed. And in QS2, what I have found is that you've got to stick with it. When the person that you recruit, all of a sudden that promised to be your best person and they quit and they're no longer around, you got to keep going. When the sale that you close they decided to change their mind, you have to keep going. Falling down is not failure, it's when you stay down. So that's what my definition of grit is. You got to work on your dedication and persistency to succeed, and your grit. You work on your grit daily, practicing all the things you need to do, the phone calls, the presentations, all those things make you, better in the business. Number 7, you got to build your willpower muscle. It's like working out, right? You get stronger the more you do it. Well, the thing about building willpower here is you got to challenge yourself. The first thing I would do to make it simple for people is get them to their first promotion. I like the fact that they keep it so simple here. Get to your first promotion, then get to the next level. That way people have something to focus on. They have a goal that's very achievable. This requires you to do something that you would rather not do. It pushes you out of your comfort zone. So if you're scared to make phone calls, you have to practice with your upline. If you're scared to do kitchen table presentations, role play with your family. You got to keep at it no matter what. You have to tell yourself that failure is not an option. These are some of the things that you didn't do in 2013. Do you know how I know? Because your business would be a lot further along than it is. And this is a chance for you to say, okay, I'm going to change things. I'm not going to let another year go by where my family can't have the best life possible. I'm going to make myself something happen for me. I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60, whatever age you're at, this is your chance. I believe, I had a conversation with someone today. It was the best conversation probably in several years. And basically it came down to the fact that I finally found at QS2 my purpose. I was bored with my life and where I am. Financially, I'm all set, but I needed a purpose. And once I got that purpose and I found it here, everything shifted for me. So I go back to talking about why are you here? One of the main things that you should put on your goals, I wanted to say this before I forgot, is figure out why are you here? Why are you here specifically at QS2? What is it about this company that attracted you? The reason I want you to think about that is that this is a startup company. It's not perfect. And the exciting thing about a startup is that you're on the ground floor, you're on the ground level, you have the ability to shape the company and leave a legacy and revolutionize the industry. It's exciting stuff. And you have to understand with that comes challenges. And so my suggestion to you is to focus on the good things that are happening. I mean, I get out of bed every day really excited. I have a purpose here at QS2. I know why I'm here. I'm here to empower women. I'm here to recruit women who never got a chance to do anything big in their life. I'm here to recruit minorities, people who never got a shot at financial services and never understood money. I know my purpose. What is your purpose? Why are you here? That's something that I would, wanted to just say because that's been on my heart. Number 8 is don't tempt fate. Don't try to take on too many challenging tasks at one time. Focus on one thing at a time. So I think a lot of times people, they run out of steam because they're trying to juggle too many things and they think they can do everything, and in the end they can't do anything. If all else fails, shoot for one recruit and one app a day. One recruit and one app a day. If you can't get one, get the other. I think by doing that, a recruit a day, an app a day will keep poverty away. That's what you tell yourself. Number 9, you have to focus on what you will do, not what you won't do. You have to have a plan, and you have to develop good habits. I can't stress enough how important habits are. This is what I would suggest you do because I want to give you some value. If you are full-time in the business, I would set 9 to 12 o'clock every day, every morning, and I would make phone calls. That's what's called green time. Green time means it makes you money. I would schedule it on my phone as a recurring activity every single day. That way you know that you can't schedule anything else. You can't do doctor's appointments. You need to make sure that you set all your appointments for recruiting and for field training between 9 and 12. Then between 1 to 4, I would actually be doing those recruiting interviews. And then in the evening, between 6 and 9, or 5 and 9, I would do field training appointments. This is for a full-time person that's starting with 0 people and 0 sales, and they want to get this business going. That's what it's going to take. So, you know, there's times in there that you're going to have to eat and times for your family. Yeah, there's a lot of time that you're working, but this is a business. This is your own business. And I think that is a great schedule for a full-time person. For a part-time person, I would make phone calls during my lunchtime, and in the evening, I would give 3 days a week, and I would go 6 to 9, and I would do 2 appointments a day, every other day. That's it. And then I would, you know, find time to meet up with my upline to make phone calls. That's how easy and simple it is. That's the schedule that you have to make for yourself. If I were to look at your phone right now and I look at your calendar, what does your month look like for January? You should already be booking it out. I've already booked out 22 days of my January with meetings and appointments and recruiting. It's booked out. I still have another 9 days to book, but what are you doing with your time? That's one of the things that I would, you know, want to say to those of you who have asked me, you know, what is it going to take to make over $1 million a year in financial services? I got a lot of text messages from people who somehow got my number from their upline or whatever the case may be. They wanted advice on how to make at least $1 million a year in financial services in a business like this. And that is my advice to you, is to really schedule every half hour of your time. I would also advise you to make sure that you constantly have a top 10 list in front of you at all times, so that when you are you know, in traffic or you're somewhere at your kid's baseball game, you can pound out phone calls. That's how laser focused you need to be to build a multi-million dollar, let's not say multi-million, let's just say you want to make $1 million a year. That's what you need to do. You have to always keep your eye on the main thing, which is recruiting and field training. That's really all it, and people always say, well, what's the secret? Well, that's the secret, is to stay laser focused. So the next thing I wanted to go over with you is I believe everything, like I told you, is a habit. And the habit of success and the habit of failure are all habits. The habits of being rich and the habits of being poor all come from your habits. If you show me your schedule and you show me how you live your life, I can tell you exactly where you are financially. I've been doing this for a long time. So I think I wanted to go over 10 habits you have to quit to be happy and successful at QS2. The first one is you got to quit procrastinating on your goals, right? Why make goals if you're going to, why set goals if you have no intention of hitting them? If you don't put it in action, if you don't wish to put action and effort into hitting them, get to work on them with laser focus. You're going to hear me use the word laser focus, discipline, because those are the things that it takes to get to where you want to go. You should be able to tell, you really need to hear this. You should be able to tell your upline the exact date when you will hit NMD and then go to vice chairman. I think when you're so specific about that, like, for example, January 31st, you're going to be NMD. By June 30th, 2014, you'll be VC. And that's what I think that you need to do, is you got to stop procrastinating on your goals. First of all, you have to make goals, and second of all, you got to get to work on your goals. And it's not good to have goals if you don't communicate them to your upline so that they keep you accountable of what you should do and how to get there. And they have a vested interest in your success, so of course they're going to help you. The second thing is, so I'm going to get real controversial because I believe in being super honest with people. The thing that I would say to you that you need to do is you got to quit blaming others and making excuses. You have to stop blaming others for why you are where you're at. You have to start taking responsibility for your life and your business. They say the day a person becomes an adult is the day they realize that they accept responsibility for their own success or failure. You can only control your actions and your attitude. I really want you to think about that. The day you become an adult is the day that you take responsibility for your own success or failure. It's nobody's fault why you're not successful at QS2. It really isn't. It's not the technology's fault. It's not the products and services fault. It's not your upline's fault. It's not the company's fault. Everything is up to you. And I know that sounds a little harsh, but I never blamed anybody when I started in this business 22 years ago for why I was successful or not. I didn't. It hurt my feelings, and it made me very sad that I didn't have mentors and I didn't have people to help me get going. But what it made me become so good at the business because I had no choice. Right? I told you I'm the most mentally tough person because I got so much rejection. I got so many no's from everybody. And I had to teach myself the business because nobody wanted to help me. There was no system that was so, you guys don't understand how good you have it. To come in and come to me like this and have all this stuff available, it wasn't like that. You probably would have quit 22 years ago if you were me. So I just wanted you to know that the best solution for your business problems is to go get a new direct recruit and then field train them yourself. It gives me excitement. It gives me energy to get back in the field with a new direct that's counting on me to teach them the business, to make them money, to show them everything I know. It fuels me with excitement and passion. I can't even tell you how fun it is. And then we go out to eat afterwards and we debrief on what they learned. And you just get to know somebody so well, and you develop this friendship with them. Rockefeller says friendship founded on business is priceless. You become friends in the business. That's priceless. The next thing, sorry, technical difficulties. I'm learning. Okay. The next thing you need to do is you've got to quit trying to avoid change. Everything happens for a reason, good or bad, right? I believe you need to become better, not bitter, when you face challenges in your life and in business. If your best person quits, let them go. Get another recruit. Some will, some won't. Who's next? Next, next, next. That's my attitude about everything in life. It's not going to be perfect, right? We never said it would be easy. We just said it would be worth it. So in this business, at QS2, you got to roll with the punches. You got to accept that nothing is going to be perfect. There is no perfect recruit. There is no perfect upline. There is no perfect company. There's no perfect you. So I think that the day that you accept that, you know, for me, someone was saying, well, why are you so positive about being here at QS2? You don't really need to be here. But I appreciate being here. You guys don't understand how much at this point in my life I appreciate QS2 so much because it gives me purpose, because I know this company is going places. I'm excited. And I encourage you to have that same attitude because it'll get you and sustain you through all the challenges that you have. Number 4, quit trying to control the uncontrollable. Let go of things you cannot control, like a recruit quitting or a sale not being closed. You got to invest time in what you can control. How many phone calls do you make daily? How many field training appointments do you go on? All that matters are names on apps and butts in seats. Pick up the phone and start building. Anytime that anybody would complain to me, I would ask them, what are you doing? How many phone calls? How many apps? When they would say, well, the software is not working, well, the app got rejected, I would always go back to what matters. How many phone calls and how many appointments and how many apps? Do you guys hear how repetitive I am? That's because I keep my eye on the main thing. I don't care about politics. I don't care what goes on in the company. I don't care what anybody else is doing. All I care about is what am I doing? What is my team doing? From me down, that's all I care about. So that's my attitude. I don't care what the next guy's doing. I don't care about any of that stuff. So I would suggest you to have the same attitude. Number 5, quit talking down to yourself. Henry Ford once stated, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. One of the major causes of why we fail is due to self-doubt or negative talk. You got to focus on your affirmations. I start my day every day reviewing my affirmations. I mean, I have probably 40 affirmations that I read every day. One of them is I'm going to change at least one person's life for the better today in whatever way I can. I'm going to change at least one person's life for the better in whatever way I can. I have many, many other affirmations, but I really think that, you know, if you think you can do this business called QS2 and be successful at it, you will be successful. If you think this business is too hard and you're not going to be successful at it, you will fail. It's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I'm going to be successful at QS2. I'm going to build a huge team. I'm going to change a lot of people's lives by offering them this great opportunity. I'm going to travel the world. I'll make a bunch of money. That's great too. But at the end of the day, I know that this is where I'm supposed to be, and I know that I can do this business, and I know I can build it big at QS2. Whether or not anyone else believes it, I believe it. And that's what you need to do, is you got to have that belief in yourself. Number 6, you got to stop criticizing others. Stop worrying about the flaws that you see in everyone else and focus on yourself. You should be so invested in your self-improvement and building your business that you have no time to criticize anyone else. Let the constant growth and improvement of your own life keep you so busy that you only compete with the best version of yourself. I don't care what anyone else says. What did I do last month, and what am I going to do this month to be better than I was last month? What were my numbers last month? How am I going to beat them? That's all I really care about. And I don't care about what anybody else is doing and how big they're building and how many agents they have, because it has no effect on my life. What affects my life is how many souls entrust me to build them a business. How many people are coming onto my team trusting that I will lead them to a better life. That's all I care about. And if you keep your eye on the main thing, you're going to be successful here or wherever you're at, because you don't care what anyone else is doing. So I think that is the main thing that I see, the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people, is that I see the glass half full all the time. I know that it's, you know, water has left the glass, but I see it as half full. And how do you see this business? How do you see QS2? It's everything you think about the business is what it becomes. Number 7 is quit running from your problems and fears. You got to face them. If you have a fear of making phone calls, then you got to make more each day. If you have a fear of sitting across the kitchen table, you got to do more. You got to focus. You got to face the problem of not making enough money by refocusing on the basics. That is so important. A lot of people tell me that, you know, they come into this business at QS2 because they need to make money. They tried other things. They're at the crossroads in their life. They need it to happen. This needs to be it for them. And one of the things I want to say is that every time you think about your financial problems and the fact that you're not making enough money, I would refocus that energy on the basics. Put one foot in front of the other until you get there. If you sit there and you think about all the problems you have in the world and how hard this business is, you're not going to get anywhere. And I say that, and I'm stressing that because it's all about the basics, going back to the phone calls and the appointments. Number 8, you got to quit living in another time and place. Your past failures do not define you, nor do your past successes carry you through tomorrow. I had a conversation with someone today that, you know, they feel that this is a business that, you know, it's too hard for them. They don't think they have it in them. And they said they failed everything they tried in their life. And I said, first of all, today is a new day, and this is a new company, and the first thing you need to change is yourself and how you think. And that's my advice to you as well. Yeah, and maybe you were successful at another company. Maybe you were at a different company like a QS2, and you think you come in here and you're going to be successful. Well, I have news for you. Past performance does not guarantee future success. Think about what I just said. Past performance does not guarantee future success. You actually have to get to work, and you actually have to do the dirty of the business. So either way, whether you were successful or not, you can start over here at QS2. And I'm not just giving you, you know, something that just to say to make you feel better. I believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, 150%, that you can be successful at QS2. I believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that I will be extremely successful at QS2. I wouldn't be wasting my time. I wouldn't be on a conference call tonight with you guys when I could be doing a lot of other things. I could be with my family doing other things. I'm here because I believe so much in the mission and what QS2 is all about that I want to help spread the message and condense time frames and make myself and you successful a lot quicker. So you have to understand this business is you have to be at it every single day. I'm at it every single day. What does it mean to be at it? I'm on the phone every single day, making phone calls, setting up appointments, trying to recruit for my team, learning about the business, being on listening to the radio show, going through all the apps and how to write apps for property and casualty, which I've never done before. I'm at it every single day. You have to have a profit and loss mentality like I talked to you guys before. Every day you have to ask yourself, what are you doing today to move your business forward? Every day before you start your day, this is very important actually. Every day before you start your day, you got to review what your plan is to move your business forward. And at the end of the day, you have to review what could you have done better. So I'm the kind of person, I'm very self-reflective. I don't think that I am the best at anything. I always believe I can get better. And I think the people who think they know everything actually are the ones that don't know anything and don't do anything. So my attitude is this business, you have to have a profit and loss mentality. How many days can you afford to go and not make phone calls and not set up recruiting interviews and not get out in the field and not field train your new direct? How many days can you go without zero activity before you realize that it is a business that is a loss for you? And I've told you guys before, this business works. It's not that business doesn't work. It's because you don't work, and then you fail, and then you blame the business. And then you quit. And then I'll ask you, if you are my direct, how can you quit? You never got started. So my suggestion to you is to look at your day, your week, your month with a profit and loss mentality. How many apps, how many recruits, track your business. You have to be tracked. You got to be so intensive about it. You have to know every recruit. When did they join you? When did they get a code number? When did they become a client? When did they go in the field? When did they do their 10 field training appointments? When did they get licensed? When did they get their first check? You have to track that because it's your business. Now that I'm starting a new base shop, I'm excited. You should see my spreadsheet. I'm tracking everything on my team of 7. It's only been a couple weeks, but I'm tracking it. Do you want to know why? I'm not counting on my upline. I'm not counting on some company report. This is my business. This is my team. They trust their lives to me. So what are you doing with your business? What are you doing with your team? What are you doing to make sure that your business is profitable? What are you doing? If you can't answer me, that's the first step is we have to get you going to do something. Number 9, quit trying to be someone you're not. Do this business for you. Someone said to me recently out of Texas, she said, they want to be me. And I said to her, be a first-class version of you. Don't be a second-rate imitation of me. What I meant by that is focus on the strengths that you have, right? Focus on, there's something unique about each person, and they have gifts and strengths. Focus on that. Match up your weakness. If you're good at recruiting but you can't produce, go recruit a top-notch producer. If you're good at producing but you can't recruit, recruit a recruiter. The cool thing about our business is that whatever you're not good at, you can go recruit and find someone that is good at that. So, number 10 is quit being ungrateful. I am so grateful, and I'm not just saying this. I've said it personally. I've said it publicly, and I really mean this. I'm grateful for being here at QS2. QS2 has given me a purpose in my life. I'm so grateful. I'm also grateful for the challenges because they make me stronger. I like that it's a startup because I have a chance to own a part of this company, shape its legacy, and leave an imprint on the industry. I'm grateful for the challenges. I'm grateful for my upline, John, who had the courage to call me and give this life-changing opportunity to me. I think you need to be grateful to your upline whether you like them or not because they have a vested interest in making you successful. I think that when you have an attitude of gratitude about this business and the opportunity that we have, it's life-changing. And I really believe that. And I believe that this is, this year, you can do so much. Abraham Lincoln says this, and I'll leave you with this. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. That's from Abraham Lincoln. And I say, as you start your 2014, get it going. And I also want to leave you with this quote. Sir Edmund Hillary said, "It is not the mountain that we must conquer, but ourselves." I want you to read that and think about that. Now is the time to take action, plan out your 2014, and live life by design. I live my life by design. I don't live it by chance. I'm here because I choose to be here. I'm here because I want to be here. I'm planning out my business for 2014, and every day is accounted for. Because QS2, I was telling someone recently, I feel like I've just gotten into a new marriage. I'm married to QS2 now. Now it's the exciting time when you get to find out all the things about your partner, which is QS2, and how to make each other better. This business will make me better as a person, and I'm excited about that. You've got to climb this mountain called QS2, and you got to ask yourself, if not now, when are you going to do it? And if it's not going to be you, then who will? So I ask you, as you start your 2014 and we climb this mountain called QS2 together, I ask you, why are you here? What is your purpose? And I ask you to think about that, and I ask you to think about your family and people you love, and what do you want from this opportunity? And I want you to become really crystal clear and really hone in on that. And I want you to start taking action and getting your goals in place and really think about your life. Live your best life that you possibly could live, because you only get one shot at it. I got a t-shirt my sister sent me. It says YOLO, you only live once. Anytime I'm afraid to do something, I tell myself, you only live once. Let's go for it. So with that, my friends, I want to say thank you for being on this call, and I want to say Happy New Year. I'm excited to be in business with you. I am grateful to be in business with you, and I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. Thank you very much.
Hey, Lily, that was a great job. I think that was one of, if not the best leadership meetings that we've had. Tremendous information, and it really hit home. What I'd like to do is, beyond thanking you, I'd like to tell everyone how this came about and really why I have respect for Lily. And you could tell by her attitude, there's not one negative thought or comment in her body. Hers is a philosophy of acceptance of responsibility and accountability, and making sure she does everything she possibly can to help everyone around her. It was funny because this morning we had a radio show, and I didn't tell Lily I was going to tell you this, but we had a radio show, and then right after the radio show, she texted me. She said, here's her text: can tonight's webinar be about kickstarting off the new year right and how to turn the switch on our business? I feel that with a company restarting or evolving, it's the best to resell the people on how great the company is, all the great products and services, etc. They need to be given clear, simple steps to restart their biz or get it going, and here are the steps to do it. Really focused training. And then I told her, I like it. I'll start with the first 15 minutes. I'll introduce you, and you can go. And she texts back, laugh out loud. You mean me to do it? Haha, okay. I was just telling you my idea of what's needed. But you know what? I'm up to the challenge. It is the first step to change the direction of their business and how to do the right things and start over. So think about that. That's the definition in my dictionary of a do-it-first leader. That's the definition of someone who will give you their all to help you be more successful. That's the definition of someone who has the single best attitude that I've ever seen. And to me, that's what's going to make an individual successful. It's their attitude. Bad attitudes mean no success. Good attitudes mean no matter what happens, no matter what your business plan is, you will be successful. So it's with that I really have a lot of respect for someone like Lily, who will not only recommend, instead of complaining, she recommends something that will help the entire company, and then she steps up and she does it. The last thing I want to tell you about, it's kind of funny, she goes, well, do you want to see my PowerPoint before the presentation? I said, no, I trust you. I completely trust you, and anything you do, it's going to be wonderful for the entire company. I think that caught her off guard a little bit because she thought I was like a control freak that wanted to see everything I don't. If someone's out there doing the job, making the sales, doing the training, running the system, and it has true green blood running through the system like Lily does, I'll trust them to the core. So thank you very much, Lily.
Anytime, Dan.
No, it was awesome. It was awesome. What I'd like to do now is bring on our National Sales Director, co-founder of the company, the man himself, Mr. Kelly Schnorrenberg.
Hey, Dan, can you hear me okay?
You sound great.
That's fantastic. Folks, anytime I've ever done a meeting, a live meeting, I always ask people, how many people have ever read the book Think and Grow Rich? Well, in the book Think and Grow Rich, it says if you want to be a millionaire, number one, find someone in your industry who is a millionaire, and then it says copy exactly what that person has done. Well, folks, I want you to think about this. If your goal is to be a millionaire, all you have to do is find someone in QS2 that's a millionaire and copy exactly what they've done. If you want to be worth $3 million, $5 million, $10 million, $50 million, find someone in the industry and copy exactly what they've done. Let me tell you who you just heard from. Lily, in a company that she was involved in, to this day has 1.1 billion assets under management. She manages 600 million herself. She has 598 agents that are full-time career people. She's had to recruit thousands to find 598 who became career people. Well, if you want to talk about someone who walks the walk and talks the talk, that person's Lily Tran, folks. We have mentors in this company that whether your goal is to make $5,000 a month, $10,000, to make $50,000 or $100,000 or $1 million a month, we have mentors in this company that have that type of background. Lily, in the company she's in, one of the largest insurance companies in the world, she was the #1 person in that entire company, and here she's in QS2. Second thing I want to talk about real briefly is in the book Think and Grow Rich, it talks about the mastermind concept. The mastermind concept is finding 5 people that are like-minded, have a common goal, that want to ascend to the heights you want to ascend with. Folks, there's something magical when you have 5 people on your team that have a common goal, the same attitude, the same mindset, the same type of commitment. They're willing to run the race with you. There's something magical that happens, and guess what that is? It's called financial independence. Okay, what do you have to do to find 5? You may have to recruit 20. You may have to recruit 30. It may be 50. It may be 100. It's a sorting process. But you know what? What difference does it make how many you have to recruit? If you have laser focus, like Lily talked about, it doesn't matter whether it's 10, 20, 50, or 100 to find the right 5 people. It doesn't matter what you have to do. You just do it. With that said, what I'd like to do real briefly is bring Joel Christie on for a couple minutes. Folks, I want to share a real quick story with you before I bring Joel Christie on. Back in 1977, a guy named Art Williams called Joel Christie up on the telephone. Joel was National Director of Sales for a company called PennCorp. Well, let me tell you who PennCorp was. PennCorp owned 5 different insurance companies. At one time, they were the second largest owner of banks in the southwestern United States. One time, they were the largest publicly traded company on NASDAQ. Well, in 1977, Art Williams calls Joel Christie up on the phone, and he had a problem. He just lost his insurance contracts with the company he was with. He was also underfunded in his company. Well, to make a long story short, Joel Christie makes an introduction of Art Williams to Stanley Byer, who happened to be chairman of the board of PennCorp. And Stanley was the architect of the entire empire. Well, folks, guess what happened? 14 years, A.O. Williams ended up recruiting 750,000 agents who got licensed. They sold 10 million term policies, did 360 billion in face amount of term insurance, 77 to 91. 1991, they ended up selling Primerica Financial. At that time, Primerica was owned by Citicorp, which was the largest company in the world. Well, when Art sold his company in 1991, he got $1.8 billion stock in Citicorp. That made him the single largest stockholder in the company. 1992, it put him on the Forbes 400 list. Well, when Joel made that introduction of Art Williams to Stanley Byer, PennCorp became the product service provider to A.L. Williams. Stanley Byer and PennCorp wrote a check in the millions of dollars for Art to start his company, maintain it. Well, for the next 14 years, Stanley became Art's mentor. In other words, he was the money behind the company, and he was Art's mentor. Well, folks, history was made. Well, guess what our goal is at QS2? Our goal in the next 3 years is to build a $1 billion market cap company. Next 5 to 7 years, midterm goal, $3 to $5 billion market cap company. Long-term goal, 7 to 10 years, big cap company, $10 billion cap company. Well, folks, when I say we have them kind of goals, it takes 3 things to do something at that level. Number one, from a management perspective, you have to have the business expertise and you have to have the resume. If I'm telling you our goal is to build a $1 billion cap company and we don't have the management expertise, guess what that's called? That's called hot air. The second thing you have to have is the financial wherewithal to support your business model. The third thing you have to have is you have to have world-class leadership in the field like Lily Tran. Well, guess what? We got about 40 people. I'm not going to say they're Lily by any stretch of the imagination, but we got about 40 people in our company that in the past have earned $250,000 a year running a recruiting, building, internal consumption, field training system. Well, this Friday in Sacramento, we're going to have Dan Ahmed, CEO of the company, Jim Files, the president, Joel Christie, along with Stanley Byers and myself. Well, folks, we have an executive committee we're forming, and guess who's going to become the mentors to everybody? Stanley Byers is. Well, folks, we have someone who has the business expertise, the resume. They have the track record. Dan has the business expertise, the resume, the track record. Jim File has the business expertise, the resume, the track record. Joel Christie has the business expertise, the resume, the track record. I'm going to end on this, why we started our company, and then I'm going to bring Joel out. Right now, there are 60 to 70 million boomers out there today, about 40 million seniors. Our government, Wall Street, along with the insurance industry, saying there's going to be a $30 to $50 trillion wealth transfer the next 20 to 30 years. The average age of licensed agents is 58 years old. Well, demographics would tell us whatever company or companies can hire, train, put back in this industry licensed professionals and do that in mass, there's going to be a chapter in history told that hadn't been told yet. Now let me end on this before I bring Joel out. 38% of the people here in America own life insurance. That's the lowest number in the last 50 years. 58% say that they would be interested in buying more if someone just contacted them. Folks, we're going to solve that problem. This company is. We have a world-class management team, world-class leadership in the field, and we're going to do something that's never been done in this industry. All it takes is people that has the expertise, they're visionaries, they got the work ethic, and they're teachable and coachable, and they'll model successful people. So with that said, I'd like to bring Joel Christie out. Joel, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, Joel, you've, for about the last 4 months, you've had an opportunity to meet a lot of our leadership across the country. Obviously, you were there when the A.L. Williams empire got built. Why don't you share your thoughts of where we're at today and where we're going?
Sure. Well, you know, the answer to that question is based upon some very interesting facts and figures that are now coming in. You had Lily on there, and by the way, Lily, thank you very much this evening for what you said. You certainly are the cream of the crop, and we appreciate your efforts and the way in which you can bring your points across. Everybody needs that type of help, and we welcome you to the leaders group. And, you know, I've seen in the last few months in various areas some very good, solid people. And I think that the people that are now here, the ones that have been doing things, and I don't want to go into the names or anything like that, but I'm going to say that the majority of the people that I've met have very strong ethics, work ethics, and do very well for themselves because they've been doing well for themselves for a very long period of time. So what they're doing is moving their expertise into a new company, the new company being QS2. Many of them refer to the training company as the practice company. Begins with a P. That's where they came from. But the thing is that QS2 is in a position to literally move ahead, forge ahead, and get things done the way that they should have been done over the many years that the insurance industry has been intact. And now we have the ideas from the past that all we have to do is rejuvenate them. We don't have to reinvent anything. We just take what's been out there and improve upon it. And this is what QS2 has done. Whether we're improving on helping families to become financially secure as they get older and to learn how to take care of their money, or if we're showing people how to improve their lives by having a better lifestyle, by becoming financially independent through the work that they're doing, which is the industry that we're in, whether we call it the insurance industry or the financial service industry. The main thing is we help people, and we also grow in strength and also ability and appreciation of the things that we're doing. And in turn, we get appreciated by the people that we're helping. So we all have something to do here. And I think Lily hit it, you know, real hard. She stays on top of her personal goals. She puts priorities in order. She knows why she's in the business. She knows what she wants to do. And it was a very clear and precise method of speaking to us. And talking about clear and concise, you know, we've all taken photographs of something. Well, we don't, you know, put a person, we don't take the camera and put it on a person and then click the button to take the picture when it's fuzzy and unclear or off balance. We wait until we get a clear, concise picture of who we want to take that picture of, and when that picture is now clear and concise in our own minds and our own eyes, we hit the switch and we take a clear picture. And that's just the way it comes out. So in effect, if we have fuzzy goals and we're not clear and we don't really understand our own goals or where we want to be and where we're going and so on and so forth, then that's how it's going to turn out. It's going to be very fuzzy. So we need clear, concise goals. And I think this is what Lily was talking about, and there are many ways to go about these things. So I appreciate what Lily did tonight. And in answer to your question, Kelly, QS2, to me, is ready to go. It's a new company. There's been difficulties because of support systems that, you know, we had difficulties with. We all know that. It's not perfect by any means, but we now know where the problems are. And we're going to take care of those problems so that everybody that's part of this company in the field will get the backup and support services that they need to build a huge business for themselves and also for the new people that come in. So that's the way I see it, Kelly, and I'm going by my own personal experience and seeing the A.O. Williams deal from the very, very beginning. I went to a lot of their meetings on behalf of Mr. Beyer, I should say. I'm getting to the habit, Kelly, of how you refer to him. But in any event, it's going to get better and better. It looks great. And 2014 should be a good year for many of us that are already in it, and for hundreds and thousands of others that are going to be coming in. And they'll be under some very good leadership that's out there in the field right now. Those people that I've met throughout the country, and they're doing a great job. Back to you, Kelly.
Joe, I appreciate it. I'm going to close on this tonight, folks. Anytime you have a startup company, that's what startup means, is you're a startup company. There's nothing that's perfect. Matter of fact, I wouldn't say it's easy either. There are a lot of challenges. You know what? In business, when you have problems, the bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. All you have to do is solve the problem. I want to take this time right now to thank each and every person who is in QS2 to help us do what we did this year in business. The Rocky Narain, Zooey Wins, Fuji, Quinn Dang, Nancy Versosa, Zooey Wynn. I can't name everybody, folks. Tony Reyes, our field chairman, one of the co-founders of the company. I want to thank every single person on this call tonight. I want to thank every person that's not on the call for helping us get where we're at. Okay, here's how I'm going to end tonight. Folks, in a company like this, the people that understand timing, that understand positioning, that understand what they do, they become very, very wealthy. I'll close on this. Front load your business, it'll last you a lifetime. If you front load your business with people up front, you're going to do some really, really hard work up front. But when you front load it, it's going to last you a lifetime. So here's my question for everybody tonight. Are you going to watch history, or are you going to make history for your family? Pretty good question. In other words, where's your attitude at? On a scale of 1 to 10, are you a 10? Where's your mindset at? On a scale of 1 to 10, are you committed? You going to plant your flag? Are you somebody who makes excuses or makes results? Where's your mindset at? Let me give you a definition of mindset, folks. Once you set goals, it's being willing to do whatever it takes to get the desired result you want when you want it, period. End of story. No excuses, results only. Hey, how about your goal? Just like Lily said, let's go in and have short-term, mid-term, long-term goals. Let's have a business plan. Folks, a business plan helps you attain the goals. Without a business plan, you're not going to achieve a goal. Lastly, daily method of operation. It's what you do on a day-in, day-out basis over an extended period of time is what makes goals become realities. So again, are you going to make history, or are you going to watch it? The choice is yours. Thank everybody in QS2, from corporate down to every single person in this company. Let's finish the year great tomorrow, but let's start the year with a roar next year. Have a great evening.